the PowerA MOGA XP Ultra. Quite a mouthful of a name there, but is it worth $130? Well, I'm about to tell you. Let's get into it. Greetings, comrades! This is Domini Caleb, back with another controller review, and for this week I'm going to be reviewing the PowerA MOGA XP Ultra portable gaming controller. We'll get to that in a minute. And I've been using this controller for quite a bit, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have mixed feelings about this controller. So we'll go ahead and start with the feel of the controller. For starters, you know, it almost feels like an actual Xbox Series controller, which I have my original one here. You know, it's just kind of my control, no pun intended, of how it feels. So that one feels nice. And this one, it almost feels the same, just a little different. And as you can tell, the grips feel a little different. It still has the texturing on the sides here, but of course we have the addition of the grip buttons here. And yeah, in this mode, it feels like an Xbox controller, but when you put it into portable mode, the mini pad mode, it's a lot less so. Naturally, you don't have the grips here, so it doesn't feel as comfortable. You're not holding an actual grip on the controller here. It's just a smaller pad, but you know, you still have the little grooves here and here, so you can at least rest your middle finger on there, so you can still hold it and use the controls just as well, but yeah, not gonna be very comfortable in the long run. Yeah, and you're gonna have fairly big hands, so this doesn't quite feel comfortable for me. We have smaller hands, and yeah, you might get a little better feel for this, but yeah, it's not very comfortable in the long run. But you know, that's kind of the sacrifice for this controller. You're sacrificing comfort for convenience in this mode, which is why, you know, you want to play it in full size mode, you can do that. Yeah, you can always put the grip back on, but you know, for portability, you know, you do have that option, especially if you have a larger Steam Deck case like I do. But yeah, as far as features go, this controller has quite a bit going for it. But whether or not it's worth the premium price tag is up to you, but we'll get into that. But yeah, it's pretty much the same as an Xbox controller as far as layout goes. The asymmetrical joysticks, the faceted D-pad, face buttons, the oddly clicky bumpers, which yeah, that's been a talking point with PowerA controllers. The bumpers, for whatever reason, are very clicky. They respond and work well. It's just oddly clicky compared to the standard Xbox controller. Still clicky, not as much, but these, like, you hear these from a mile away. Of course, you got the triggers plus the grip buttons down here, which there's a third button right here. This programs these grip buttons. Basically, what you do is you hold this for a few seconds, then the light will turn on. Then you press one of the face buttons you want to use to bind to one of the grip buttons. Then when that starts flashing, you press that grip button, and it'll bind that key or button to the grip button. So you do it that way. I don't use these that much, but you know, they're there. I kind of wish they were at a slightly better spot, like a little closer to the edge here, maybe like, well, maybe not that far out because I can't reach back there, but here it might be okay, though it might be easy to press them during intense gaming sessions, so that's something to keep in mind. But of course, the biggest feature, which you probably know, the mini pad mode. Yeah, by pressing this switch here, pressing to the right and pulling the controller out, you take the controller out of the grip dock, whatever you want to call it, and there's a smaller, more portable controller. You can see there are 8 contacts down here, which coincide to these down here. And naturally, that's how you would connect it here to not only use those grip buttons, but also give you this little grip here. Naturally, in portable mode, you don't have access to those grip buttons, but you have access to everything else. Pretty much the same form factor, just without those grips. But that's kind of the point for the portable function. But yeah, as I mentioned, we have the 2 grip buttons, and this button lets you program one of the face buttons to either of these 2. And another thing it comes with, which I don't really use, but you know, some people might get used to it, this phone clip. Basically what you do, you clip it onto the top of the controller here. Make sure it's seated properly. Snaps. And kind of get out of the screen here. You can now place your phone and then, you know, play your mobile games or even Xbox games through the Game Pass service through your phone. And it has two separate joints here, so you can just loosen the knobs here. You can adjust it to anything you want. Pretty much adjust to any vision angle you prefer, and of course, depending on what size phone you have, you know, different kinds of phone and stuff. It will make it a little top heavy, especially in mini pad mode, so keep that in mind. But you can see here, it does stretch out quite a bit. Though, I'm not sure what kind of phones will actually fit this perfectly, and which ones will be too big, so just something to keep in mind if you plan on getting one of these. If you plan on using it for the mobile gaming purpose. So take it out, you just press this little flap here, pull it out, and back to go again. And another big thing, the battery life. This thing has a 2000 milliamp hour battery, so it gives you 60 hours of playtime through Xbox, 40 through Bluetooth, which is pretty much on par with the other controllers, so not a deal breaker, but you know, very nice, especially if you're planning on getting this for the Xbox. And yeah, it even has a battery level indicator right here. You press this button here, it'll show you the battery level. I fully charged this, and yeah, a lot of controllers don't have battery level indicators, at least on the controller itself, so you know, that's really nice to have, so give credit where credit's due. Now, as far as easy use goes, it feels like an Xbox controller. You know, naturally, if you probably connect to the Xbox, it'll work fine, but connecting it to the PC, little bit sketchy. I'm not gonna lie. When I first connected this, it didn't immediately recognize it as a Xbox controller, recognize it as a generic controller, and I had to go to the controller settings in Steam in order to map this and fix it up. And while setting it up, I noticed that the share button would not work. Everything else worked fine, the joysticks, D-pad, everything else was fine. But for whatever reason, the share button does not work. It might be a problem with mine, or maybe this doesn't really work with PC. Maybe it'll work on Xbox, I don't know. I don't have an Xbox, at least not yet. And I don't really use a share button that much anyway, so it's not a big deal for me, but it's something I like to point out. While setting this up, the share button would not work. I don't know why. But I did connect it to the Steam Deck. A lot less hassle, but again, same problem. Share button would not work. But you know, not a big deal for me, but it's something I gotta point out when testing these controllers. If something doesn't work, I gotta let y'all know. So it might speak to the quality of the controller. But yeah, maybe it'll work on the Xbox, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just a problem with my controller, so your mileage may vary. Then there is a app for this, the PowerA software on Xbox and PC, but getting it to work for this is kind of sketchy. Like when I try to, I don't know if you can update the firmware on this, but I try to boot up in the app, and the first time it worked fine, but I try to select it again, for some reason the picture of the controller disappeared and I can't use the app. Like nothing, no commands will work, so I don't know what to do if that is. Maybe I just need a different app for this, but I don't know. That's a little bit of a red flag when the software is supposed to work if this doesn't work. So yeah. But yeah, as far as reliability goes, again, a little mixed on it, which the controller itself is fine. Like I said, all the buttons work well. I tested them. Joysticks work. D-pads works about as well as you'd expect. Doesn't feel as good as the official controller, but it gets the job done. And again, I mentioned the bumpers for some reason are really clicky, and the grip buttons really clicky too. It's like, am I holding a controller or am I setting up an alarm clock? That's what it sounds like alarm clock buttons. It's kind of weird. But You know, the controller itself does work fine, though again, as I mentioned, my share button does not work, at least not on PC or Steam Deck, so maybe it'll work on the Xbox, I'm not sure. But yeah, it works fine, though again, setting it up through Bluetooth on PC was a little sketchy at first. I got it to work now, but it shouldn't be that hard. It should be just like the official Xbox controller, which I forgot to mention, this is an officially licensed Xbox product, so why it doesn't have the same quality as this, I'm not sure, because with this, you just connect it like you would any Bluetooth device. You just hook it up, you know, just set out the Bluetooth settings, you know, hold the pair button, make sure it's within range, you're good to go. Which here, the first time I set it up, it did connect, but it was a little weird, because like I said, it didn't immediately recognize an Xbox controller, but as I, you know, unsynced it, then resynced it, it worked fine, so I don't know what to do with that is. But yeah, that's, your experience on those might be different. I'm not sure if you're just getting it for the Xbox, then it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but on PC and Steam Deck, a little bit more of a hassle, but I got it to work in the end. But as I mentioned, on PC and Steam Deck, the share button would not work. So it's something I need to point out. Like I said, it might work on the Xbox, I'm not sure. So yeah. And honestly, the grips here, you know, it feels solid enough, but I don't know, without the controller, it still feels kind of cheap. Like, it feels not hollow, but, you know, close to it. It's not as solid as, like, obviously a dedicated controller, it's just a shell, but I don't know, perhaps if they're a little more durable and stuff, it might, I'm not sure how long this will hold up in the long run, especially when you keep taking this out, putting it back in. I'm not sure about the longevity of this, but, you know, it does get the job done. And, even though I don't use it that much, I do question how long this phone clip will last, especially if you have a bigger, heavier phone. Like, I'm pretty sure it's only a matter of time till these joints give way, and then the phone clip will be useless. I mean, at least the base feels solid enough. But here, you know, it's a little bit thinner plastic, and again, when I first took this out, these knobs weren't even put in all the way, and they fell off, so I had to put it back together. So, yeah, that's a bit of a issue there. But yeah, so there are some good things about this controller. Like I said, it's a familiar Xbox layout, and it works well enough, aside from this, for me anyway. But yeah, I don't know why these bumper buttons are so clicky. And the grip buttons are clicky too, I'm not sure why. But yeah, this is perhaps the biggest pro for this controller, the portability aspect. Again, a full-size controller and just a flip of a switch, you have a smaller controller. And that's what drove me to get this. You know, perfect for the Steam Deck, if you ask me. Though, there are several things that I wish were better with this controller. Now, first off, the connectivity issues. As I mentioned, doing it on PC is a little iffy, though it does work. It's a little bit more of a hassle compared to the regular Xbox controllers. And I heard that using an Xbox wireless adapter would alleviate some of the issues, but if I have the option to use Bluetooth, why not use Bluetooth? Like, what's up with that? And like I said, when I first set this up, when I first connected it, it didn't immediately recognize it as an Xbox controller. It recognized that as a generic controller, so I had to, again, go to the controller settings in Steam in order to fix it up. And yeah, it's a bit weird. It might just be an issue with mine. Yours might connect fine. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. And another big con, as I mentioned, yeah, like I said, the mini pad, nice for convenience, but again, it's not very comfortable in the long run, especially if you have big hands like me. If you have smaller hands, it probably won't be as much of an issue, but it does feel a bit uncomfortable over time. Yeah. Well, I can't understand the difficulties of trying to cram the entire Xbox button layout into a small form factor. Sure, this isn't the best they could have done. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. It works well enough, it's just in longer gaming sessions it will get uncomfortable, so if you're gonna be playing for a really long time, just take this with you and just play it like that. You know, it works well enough. And as I mentioned, I'm not sure about the longevity of the phone clip. You know, it might hold up for a while, but pretty sure over time it'll wear out, especially how thin the plastic is for the phone clip here. And I just grabbed this is the end that connects to the controller. This is what holds the phone. So this part here, yeah, I'm not sure how long that'll hold up if you're constantly using it. And yeah, all that stuff, and this is the big thing. The price of this controller, the MSRP for this is $130. Yeah, that's quite a bit of money for a controller like this. It does have those interesting features. Again, the mini pad feature is really good. The additional phone clip, even though I don't use it, it's a nice thing to have. You want to, you know, do mobile gaming and stuff with that. So yeah, that's good. Plus the programmable buttons back here, that's also a nice feature to have. But think about it. For just $10 more, you get an Xbox Elite controller, the core version, for just $10 more. And this has all the features: the swappable thumbsticks, the swappable D-pad, you know, the trigger guard, the trigger adjusters, I forgot what you call them, plus the extra paddle buttons, which it doesn't come with paddle buttons, but you can get some aftermarket, which is like $10-15. And it's a much more solid controller, and it only costs $10 more than this. Though, to my defense, I bought this during Black Friday. It was $75, so if that were the MSRP, then I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend getting it. But at $130, you're probably better off just getting an Xbox Elite controller. Like, honestly. But, yeah, again, if it were for the Black Friday sale, I wouldn't have been so quick to jump on this. But, yeah, for $130, I was hoping for a little bit higher quality for the build. Or at least, you know, as a few more of the features, like, you know, adjustable height thumbsticks, or I don't know, anything to give it a little more beef to justify a high price tag. So the XP Ultra. So as far as pros go, the mini pad feature is really nice. You know, the buttons are responsive and feel good. The programmable back buttons is a nice feature. And the additional phone clip, you know, definitely handy for mobile gaming and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as cons go, again, might be a problem of mine. Share button would not work. So again, it might be a problem with mine, so I probably won't let that as a con. What I can let as a con, the bumpers are audibly loud and clicky, as well as the grip buttons. Plus the mini pad, not very comfortable in long gaming sessions, so hopefully you're not going to be using it for that purpose. And phone clip, I don't know. I'm mixed about the quality of this. The phone part, solid. The controller part, not as solid. And the big thing, again, it's expensive. $130 for this, as I kick my tripod. Kind of a tough pill to swallow, but in the end, do I recommend this controller? Maybe. As I said earlier, I have mixed feelings about this. You know, as a player, I do like the controller. You know, I like the form factor, I like the portable concept with the mini pad, but I really don't think it's worth $130. It functions well for the most part, you know, has a few extra features. Again, the mini pad concept is a, you know, nice thing to have for a controller like this, you know, going to the portability aspect. But I don't know, the connectivity issues I had on PC, you know, minor quality qualms here and there, and you know, the execution of the mini pad, it leaves quite a bit to be desired, honestly. You know, and again, $130 for this. If you get it for almost half off like I did, then I would, you know, hesitantly recommend you check it out. You know, again, at $130, you're better off getting an Elite controller, a core controller. But if mobile portable gaming is more your thing, and you've been eyeing this, then definitely check it out. But if you just want a full-size controller, you're better off getting one of these even. But at the end, at the end of the day, it's up to you whether or not I think it's worth it. As for me, again, I do like the controller, but I don't think it's worth $130. $80 maybe, $90 kind of pushing it, but $130, $130 is a tough pill to swallow. So I suggest you wait for a sale before you drop the penny on one of these, because again, at $130, like I said, you're probably better off getting one of these. So anyway, this is Unforgiving Caleb signing out. Have a good day.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.